As always, evil flourishes when good men stand aside. With the proper vision and aim, all could have all that is needed, perhaps even all that is wanted.
The question then seems to be, can you deliver on this promise? Several conflict analysts are citing your lack of wartime experience as a cause for concern.
Those people have gone out of their minds. The culture war in the West is real, and culture is losing. And the culture war is now truly part of why we have a war. And it's a real war.
That's not...
That was dark. That was severely dark.
That was very dark. And also strangely apropos considering what... It's been a wild fucking 24 hours in Russia.
Woo! Let me tell you. So all I'm saying is once the Russian artillery starts turning on Moscow, and they will, you're gonna watch people just swapping sides. It's gonna look like a Counter-Strike lobby.
There was already swapping sides, and then they stopped. But people are upset that Prigozhin stopped. Apparently both the commanders on both sides said, "This will be a shit show. We don't want to do this. We've done this song and dance many times before. We don't want to do this."
Anyway, let's get off of politics. Let's get on to what really matters, which is the state of video games and anime and everything else, which is just hilarity. Did you see Ezra Miller? The Flash is just terrible. It is getting no traction.
I've seen someone say that, "Oh, this is good, but you shouldn't see it because Ezra Miller." And I've seen most people saying, "No, fuck this."
Everyone I know has said the same thing, which is you should not watch this. You should not watch this. It is because Ezra Miller is a terrible person, blah, 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 et cetera, et cetera. My number one concern is and will continue to be the fact that why did you let this out?
Yeah, why did you let this escape?
All you had to do was just bury it and maybe use a few scenes with Michael Keaton after you recast the Flash. That's all you had to do.
That's all you had to do.
But instead you're like, no, it's canned. We should totally premiere it. And go, why? For what reason?
It's not like they're canceling shows left and right now. And throwing them down the memory hole for tax write-offs.
Oops. It's okay. It's all right. Between that and Disney just firing everyone, it's just been great. Their CFO was fired after their head of diversity, inclusion, and equity was fired.
Yeah, that's because they've got a $12 billion, probably $12 billion thing coming due in the next year, and they don't have the cash to pay for it.
Nope.
That Hulu sale is gonna fuck them. And Comcast wants their goddamn money. They might be on the same political side, but Comcast wants their fucking money.
Listen, there's one thing I've learned about politics and politicking, and everyone who is a good quote unquote liberal is that when push comes to shove, their money matters. They will sit there and literally spout how terrible it is to deny people the right to live in the same neighborhood as other people based on race, and then go, a black person moved into my neighborhood is trashing the neighborhood. I go, wow, that went dark real fast. That went dark real fast.
Like, wow, that's some racist shit coming.
I was like,
maybe you were making up. Maybe you were making up for some things you were feeling inside there, buddy.
Oh, it's not for me. Anyway, Otakon is a month away, and I don't have any clue on things. How about you?
I have no idea.
I know I sent you that.
I know most of what I'm not doing, but there's some things that are hanging out there that I want answers to, so I can start prepping.
I've already started building Boobs the panel, which was surprisingly accepted to Classicon, Texas. I was shocked that I got an email from ClothCon Texas. I'm like, shit's in. I got 5 in and 3 on one wait list.
Yeah, I've already started building the panel we have to do together. Here I stand.
Right, I have to go and like, I have to sit down and reread my stuff from Catholic history.
I'm sitting there trying to finish the game right now so that I can talk intelligently.
I will probably have to do a quick replay of that.
But I'm doing a replay of that on this.
How is the ROG, by the way?
Battery life sucks, but that was expected.
See, that's the only thing I need a handheld for is long battery life.
On older shit, if you turn it down, you can get 2 to 3 hours.
Not good enough.
It's not like it's not going to give you Switch battery life for just like 6 hours.
I get a lot more than 6 hours out of my Switch, but I'm also not playing like high end shit on my Switch.
Now, the lower end, that was about 3 or 4 hours I got playing Berseria.
Mm-hmm.
And that was Berseria on high, but it was starting to drag because everything was turned down.
Gotcha.
So that was like 30 FPS, and about 30 FPS when you have it on high, you can notice at certain scenes. Like some scenes will run at 70 FPS, but 30s when it goes to 30 to 70, it's like, oh boy, this isn't designed to run at this speed.
What I thought was funny was Nintendo did a direct just randomly in the middle of the week. I was like, the fuck?
Well, it's E3 week, but E3 doesn't exist, and we have an article about that. We'll get to it.
We do, and we will get that. But I was just, it was middle of the week, and I'm like, it's not a weekend, it's not a Friday.
It's E3 week.
Why did we do this on a Wednesday?
It's E3 week. That's why.
That's okay, because I got everything I wanted out of that one Nintendo Direct. The game I've been screaming for like 20 years.
What have you been screaming for?
Super Mario RPG.
Oh, yes. I got it. All I know is like I'm sitting there like just got out of the class for my clinic, and I check line, and it's just you saying, yeah, the Latin world's going nuts about Super Mario RPG. Super Mario RPG looks fucking awesome. I can't wait to play Super Mario RPG.
Well, here's the thing, okay? The entirety of South America lost their shit, and Mexico. Every single Hispanic collectively went ole 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 ole, and I don't know if it's a Hispanic thing or what. We've all just been screaming about this one damn game forever because everyone had a Super Nintendo, everyone had the same game for it, Super Mario RPG. Anyway, let's get into the articles.
Some sad news, unfortunately.
What are we starting with? Yes. So there's a lot to go on this one. So this is a technical mishap and an issue of
poor design,
poor hiring, poor design, poor application of tech, poor just everything that I think could go wrong went wrong. Did I send you that article on Sam Bankman-Fried getting off?
No, you didn't.
All right. We'll go into that after this. But everything that could have gone wrong here went wrong because, well, you had people hiring people based not on merit or ability, technical knowledge, or even experience, but skin color and genitals.
And one of the persons they hired who did have experience got fired because he said, "What the shit?" And they sued him because he said, "No, don't get on this. This is a bad design. It's going to go crunch.
This is not going to work."
And guess what? It went crunch.
I remember everyone screaming. Well, so there are two halves to this story that really bother me. The first half is how everyone suddenly became a submarine freaking expert.
Of course.
And and don't get me wrong, I know very little about submarines, but I sat there and I went, okay, that depth has this much pressure, Google search. What subs can handle that? This is the list. Cool. Where are they? Nowhere near there. All right, they're fucked. Like that was my response. Like, well, I hope someone finds them and like drags them out with like a electromagnet or something, because I got nothing else.
My what I did was I Googled, and then I saw that there was an existing lawsuit, and I looked it up on Lexus. Like, oh, there are serious issues according to a former employee.
Oops.
And those issues happened. And then the other thing was after it went crunch, it came out, oh, we had already known about it. Why did we deploy everything? It's like, well, you can suspect something on sonar.
Mm-hmm.
But you have to confirm it.
Yep.
And until you confirm it, and coming from an EMS background, until it's 100% sure, you're still trying to save. You can know you can have someone who's in rigor, but if you're the if you're the first on scene and you're an EMTB, you're still doing CPR until a medic gets there and tells you to cut it out. Yep. Because there might be that off chance. That what you see is
wrong,
something else, and you're always trying for that 0.01%.
Yeah, there's a reason why, people are like, why would you try that? You knew it wasn't going to work. I knew it wasn't going to work. I still had to try.
And even if it's a failure, the Coast Guard likes doing this because it makes, like, even though there's not a chance, it's a good chance for them to make sure their shit works.
Mm-hmm.
At the very least, it's a training. At the very least, they get.
Training.
I hate to say training, but it's
training. It's an awful way to put it, but it's training.
Yeah,
the military very often has hands-on training during the worst possible experiences, and they suck. But I'll tell you right now that hand-on experience, it'll save lives later.
Yeah, because they went and tried, even though there was no chance in hell, they might be able to save the next one.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
Where there is a chance.
That's all there is to it, and it sucks, but that's the way it is.
And that's why, like, I'm kind of like, oh, they should charge with, like, no, the military was going to deploy anyway.
Yep.
Also, and one of the things that bothered me is like, oh, these billionaires, these billionaires.
The amount of people I saw who are part of like the tolerant empathy people who say we need mental health and to treat people well. The minute this happened, we're like, F those billionaires. Woo. I'm like, calm down. First of all, like, this is a tragedy. I don't sit there and clap my hands every time someone dies. I do it on very certain case-by-case experiences. And it has to be someone I really dislike, and I have to have really disliked them. Now, if the Irish suddenly rose up and beat off England, I'd be like, sweet, great, excellent day.
That would be a very bad day.
That'll be the best day ever. But
that would be a very bad day because people on both sides are dead, and I have family on both sides. I would be worried as shit.
See, now I know that's a bad thing, but internally I go, but the freedom of the Irish people, and that's all I think of at that point. But that's a bigger goal.
As an aside to the aside,
yeah.
Have you ever watched the Sharp series?
No, I don't think so.
It's essentially the army version of Horatio Hornblower, but
okay,
rougher. One of the master sergeant is Irish, very Irish, but in the British Army. And at one point, watching a poor British unit drill, he goes to Sharp, his commander says, "Send him over to Ireland. We'll be free in a week."
Anyway, so
Anyways.
But I like that's me having an overall big goal picture. There's no big goal picture when we all go, yeah, kill the billionaires. You go, who? Like, why? Because they have more money than you? Is that it? You do know even if they die, you don't get their money, right? It's not how that works.
Yeah, like one of the things that even if you're like, oh, anti-billionaires, like one of the persons on the sub was a kid who didn't want to do it, but his dad wanted to do it. He said, "Hey, let's go. This will be a great father-son experience."
Yeah, not so
At
much.
least feel bad for that situation.
That's an awful situation. I would not want to be that dad in that moment.
Yeah.
So very, very sad news. Unfortunately, dead. That's all there is to it. People can make jokes about how it was remote control with the GameCube controller all you want. The problem is, and will continue to be, this tech wasn't there yet. They probably should have tested it a little further.
The fact that they avoided testing annoyed the shit out of me.
This is one of those things where I would have went, nah, no thank you. But there we are. Okay, what's next? Actually, before we get into the next thing, Sam Bankman-Fried is being let go of is being given a very light to no charges on most of his problems involving his illegal money transferring and money laundering from the U.S. judicial system.
I can't say anything because what I'm going to end up saying is making a comparison to Hunter Biden, and let's not open that can of worms.
That's a different can of worms. My problem here is the judicial system said, no, here's a slap on the wrist. And I'm going, Julian Assange has been sitting in freaking exile for how many years? In
decades.
Solitary confinement?
Decades.
For publishing things. This man literally laundered billions of dollars with a B.
Millions of people fucking lost tons of money.
A ton of people.
As in if you printed it out and put it on a scale, tons.
Mm-hmm. And that is something
rich
that's driving me up.
Poor.
Everyone who believed in this company lost.
And that's not even second order effects where it crashed the crypto market with it.
Yep. So let's go over a few facts here, and the fact that Sam Bankman-Fried is given sweetheart deals because he gave millions upon millions of dollars to both sides of the political aisle. All right. Yeah. This is a uniparty bull crap. That's what this is. All right. This man did terrible things. He stole money and then gave it to your politicians.
And they let him go.
And then they let him go for it. Now,
whatever side of the aisle you're on, the people you voted for.
The people who are having an absolute conniption about this: Thomas Massey, Matt Gaetz, Marjorie Taylor Greene, Jim Jeffries, Senator Ted Cruz. What's that one Democrat I like from California with the funny name? Well, he's voted to be the minority party leader. God,
I'm not sure. Is it the same guy who voted for right for repair? No, yes. That was somebody else. That was a woman.
Oh, but no, it was a dude. Indian name, can't remember. He's throwing out a connection, but like most people are just like, what's no, what are you talking about? So that's something that's going on, and I'm severely upset over this. And there we are with that. So let's move on to the news.
Tech news.
Yep.
While we were gone, there was a protest on Reddit, and it didn't last very long because Reddit just started firing mods.
I found this hilarious.
Some mods went, "No, don't give up my power. We'll reopen things."
No. Here's your problem. Reddit is a business, and you are now costing them money. And if they can't pay things, you have to go.
Where I'm at on this is a heel. This is a heel contest.
As long as Eddie Guerrero wins, it's all that matters.
Yes. So the CEO is trying. What started was there are these third-party apps that make it easier to mod, but there are also these other third-party apps that access Reddit to make the site more accessible to people with disabilities. And the mods are like, well, we do this for free. You're making our jobs harder. Plus, you have the second order effect that's making your site inaccessible. We're going to protest this. And Reddit CEO said, no, fuck you. So they had a protest where they shut it down, where they essentially shut the site down. And it was funny.
What they did was a ton of people started privatizing their forums. Reddit's number one thing is the fact that you can see what's going on the front page in your preferred thing, video games, porn,
whatever it is.
Whatever it is. Like you get to see the top things going on in that general category.
Reddit has essentially centralized all these forums that used to exist.
Yes, and that's fun and all, but Reddit is still a hellhole.
Yeah,
just because they keep banning me for memes, and frankly, I should be allowed to make my memes. All right, they must know about the power of the Russian people, mostly how hot Russian chicks are, and now that they're the bad guy, they're hot again. I'm just saying, all right. It's not my fault. I have this thing for the bad girl. I can't help it.
Anyways.
So, and the reason why they did this, what Reddit said it was because a lot of other apps were taking their API and using it to just disseminate information without anyone ever actually touching Reddit, which allowed people to not have to check out ads, which is how Reddit makes their money.
Reddit makes money off ads. Most of it's money off ads. So they jack the price on their API.
Mm-hmm.
That had that unfortunate second order effect, which pissed the mods off, and shit happened.
Well, the mods were like, how dare you need money for the website? I'm like, that's not how this works, communist. That's not... Okay, I really wish that some people tried living in an actual communist commune, because you can do that in America. There are tons of them. They have waiting lists.
They don't last very long.
No, actually, a lot of them can last for a very long time, but they have a limit to the number of people they can have inside of it. They've done the math. They know exactly how many people they can keep in their commune before it all goes to shit. And if anyone ever tries going over that number, it always ends the same way. Revolution, destruction.
Yes.
Every single time.
Every time.
It's almost as if it's a test for something. I don't know what.
Anyways, so first they said it was going to be 48 hours, and Reddit said, okay, fine, we'll just wait this shit out.
Yep. And
then they said, no, we're going to do it and I was like, well, if you're doing a protest, you don't say when it's going to end, because that's a shitty protest. You just waited the fuck out.
Yeah.
That's a dumb protest. And so they said, no, we're going to do it indefinitely. At which point, Reddit said, okay, we'll take away your mod powers.
Your mod powers are gone. Now what?
Like, no, a lot of mods had their, like, because that's all they fucking do. They don't have jobs.
This is their job.
This is their job. Except they don't get paid for it. But this is the only value they add to society. So they they flipped their shit.
Yep.
And then some of them went. Some of them said, "Okay, we'll reopen stuff," and then they just allowed porn bots to shit the place up. At which point, Reddit, no. You signed up to do this. Do your job. Listen,
you asked to do this. Else. You asked to do this. If you won't do this, we'll just shut down the whole damn thing. To hell with you. We don't need your bullcrap. That's all there is to it. And I feel for Reddit. I do, but you know what? You fucking deserve it. You fucking deserve it. You bunch of communist piece of shit. You deserve this.
That's why I said this is a heal program.
All right. I'm just waiting for Eddie Guerrero to come in from the freaking scaffolding from above in a freaking
come in from heaven and hit everybody with a chair, and we all cheer. It's like,
We all
yeah,
cheer.
you're an asshole, but you're our asshole.
You're our asshole.
Yeah.
The Rasa. We really need that as a freaking sound clip. Next.
Next up, still tech news. Apparently Microsoft made a breakthrough in quantum computing.
They didn't bother telling us?
Well, no one covered it except physics sites.
I'm so confused. Okay, so explain this one to me, because I did not read this one at all.
Okay, so they achieved a milestone in creating a reliable and practical quantum computer. What is the milestone? Because I just saw this. Cool.
Here's the issue. So just me skimming it.
Okay,
it's all theoretical at this point.
Well,
they plan to build it for testing purposes. So theoretically, they've made a breakthrough.
Well, it says they've engineered, so they've built something, or they've at least built something in a lab
to represent a logical qubit with hardware stability.
Engineered, that means they built something, at least built it in a lab.
All right, so they have it. Lab testing is not actual testing.
Yeah, still, it's a big jump.
Yeah, if it can survive not being in a clean room, we'll see what happens.
Well, quantum computers are going to be in a clean room anyway because they need it to actually work. But if this works out, this is like
Elon Musk is getting us to Mars faster.
Yes, and your password doesn't mean anything anymore because it can be cracked. My
password already doesn't mean anything anymore.
Well, yes, we have the same problem. The Chinese our data. Thanks, Uncle Sam.
Thank you, United States. We love you.
Yeah, that was a fun letter to get from the OPM
DOD
10 years ago.
I was like, I get one from the DOD. I'm like, oh, that's funny.
Oh, the PRC has all my data. Great, nice job, Uncle Sam.
Which only made me sit there and go, they have 32 terabytes of porn. I mean, if they really needed it, okay.
Well, it's already sitting on a hard drive somewhere in the at Fort Meade.
Look. As long as it's still, the only place that we would be able to go and keep my secret porn stash is inside a super skiff. All right, that's the only place it belongs because no one should watch it but me. That's terrible. What's wrong with all of you? You're terrible human beings.
Did you ever hear of that guy who sent a letter to the NSA after his computer crashed with no backup, asking for a copy of his data?
I have been that guy.
I know it's classified. I know you say you have. I know you have to say you don't have it, but I know you have it. Everyone knows you have it. Give it to me. I need it.
I have been that guy.
I don't have to tell it. I won't tell anybody. Just give it to me. I need this. I need to do my goddamn taxes. I
have been that guy. Let me tell you, I have sent letters to Homeland, to the NSA, to CISA. I'm like, please, I need this. It's gone. And I need it.
I know you have it on a hard drive somewhere.
Somewhere. Just send it over, okay? These are the dates I'm looking for. Send those files. I never got a response.
We're only halfway joking.
I wasn't joking. What's next?
Entertainment news.
People can now bet on the 2023 Special Olympics legally. Legally. Before you had to do it on the down low. Which, let me tell you, watching my uncle screaming, "Go, cripple, go," was one thing to fucking hear as a kid. when you grow up around gambling and gamblers, they gamble on everything. And this was no exception. But now it's illegal to do it. Lord help me. The blind freaking hurdle run. That's always hilarious. Because you know someone's gonna screw it up. I'm going to hell.
Sorry, I just remember visiting my losing aunts on my grandfather's side, and they're drinking beer or watching the Special Olympics, betting on this, yelling those things. And my father saying, "Yeah, this is why your grandfather doesn't drink, and he doesn't gamble, because he sees this and realizes this could fuck his life up and send him to hell." Okay.
Anyway.
Okay.
So, yay! Thank you for allowing us to legally bet on the Special Olympics, I guess.
I think it's a foreign company that's doing it.
Which means I can do it in Vegas. Got it.
Let me see. Yeah, it's BetOnline.ag, a German company.
Which means I can do it in Vegas.
Or AG, that's not German. Is that who? What is AG? Because Germany's .de. Let me see.
Afghan?
AG top level domain. Barbados. Antigua and Barbuda. Barbuda, excuse me.
Barbados. Anyway, listen. More power to Barbados. Moving on. What's next?
While you were at a con last week, and the second episode's probably happening while we're online right now. The first debut, it was the debut episode of AEW Collision.
Actually, yeah,
CM Punk arrived back.
I think my Rumble was going nuts over that. This is a Rumble exclusive, right?
No,
it's
on TNT, but
okay.
It might be on Rumble. I know it's on Fight or something like that.
All I know is my Rumble was going nuts about wrestling while I was at Anime Next, which was, I'll tell you, I had a very quiet, relaxing time. Everyone else not so much, but we will discuss that at the end of the show.
Anyway, so CM Punk came back, big heroes welcome in Chicago. Cut a good promo. Had a good match at the end of the show. They actually gained something AEW never does. They gained viewers during the show.
That's interesting.
Because the opening promo built interest. People got on Twitter and, oh, this is actually good? Let's tune in for this main event.
That's always a good thing to hear, though.
It was he took a shot at there, even though it would be money, CM Punk staying away from there. I like the Young Bucks. I like Kenny Omega, but they're fucking children. They shouldn't be running a wrestling company. If they were adults, Punk and those three would get in the ring and it would be fucking money.
Yes,
but they're children, so they're not going to make money off they're not going to make any money off the biggest controversy in wrestling in the past 5 years. This is a business based off blending the lines between fiction and nonfiction. You're supposed, when shit happens like this, you're supposed to grift off of it, and they're not grifting.
You have to grift.
They're goddamn children.
This is one thing I don't. The number one reason why the Bud Light controversy stuck so very well, because the grifters got in on it.
Oh, they got in on it and saw dollar signs and said, "Oh yeah, like, oh yeah, we can make tons of money. I'm still getting notifications every couple of days from fucking Yellow Flash about Anheuser-Busch stock price. Which is like, I see that just like, oh, I'm continuing to lose money. That's great.
You could sell.
Yeah, but then I can't send nasty emails to distant family.
Okay, then.
Hey, what the fuck are you doing?
Next.
Fire this bitch.
Next.
So this is something I wanted to actually. What do you think about this game?
So
I wanted to get your.
Fallujah was Afghanistan, right?
No, it was Iraq.
It was Iraq. Am I in this game?
No, Fallujah was the Marine Corps show.
Yeah, well, am I in this game? Because there was a point where I was attached to Marines.
You might be in this game then.
I might be in this game. I'm like, was this the big one in Afghanistan? No, this is the big one in Iraq. Oh, I might be in this one. The sixth. Okay, so that was, so I lived it.
Yeah, this is the second Battle of Fallujah, which has gone down in Marine Corps lore.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I was in the northern sector of that. So what can I say about this? Oof, this one's tricky. Without implicating myself or anyone I was detached to. This was a long drawn out battle. It was lots and lots of corridors. We were argued repeatedly not to take out the entire city because it was heavily put. There were tons of civilians in there who refused to leave the area. So, and we had just started the Hearts and Minds campaign, I believe, which means we were trying not to glass entire neighborhoods anymore. Which I know that sounds terrible, but when you're at war,
shit happens.
Listen, the safest way to take care of an enemy is honestly very, very often that spot. Get rid of it.
Make that grid square go away.
Yeah, that is a thing. This is when we stopped doing that, and we had to go in and deal with this. God,
House to house is not something new. That's probably why the coup ended. Is it was going to end up house to house.
Yeah, and house to house is not something you want to go through.
Yeah.
As someone who has lived it. As for how I feel about it, how realistic is it? Are we adding in the army coming in from the north during day 2?
It promises to offer the most realistic depiction of urban combat to date once it's fully complete in 2024.
Okay. So
the original version of the game was actually going to include the original version of the game was going to do each interaction from both sides.
I'm not sure how that would work. I don't know how many people from the other side survived.
From what they could gather from combat reports.
Mm-hmm.
And it was gonna but they but that's one of the reasons why Capcom dropped it back when they were making it in 2008, I believe.
Mm-hmm.
But
right. That's why this sounds very familiar. Okay.
They were going to make this in 2008, but it got dropped. But the team behind it is doing it in a new engine. They're focusing on realism, and they're they're interviewing a lot of people who were there as instead of having like normal cutscenes, it's like the Band of Brothers opening interviews.
Gotcha. That could be very well done if it's done correctly. I'm not sure if you want to be too realistic when it comes to this. This was very much seat of your pants, door to door, not sure if that person I just cleared is going to shoot me in the back or not, kind of stuff.
Yeah.
This was very intense, very, very nerve-wracking. I watched more than a few guys cracking in the middle of the night and throwing up all night. It was not something that was good. I personally took a good 2 weeks off after this. And by 2 weeks off, I mean they put me on light duty, where I did not leave the fob at all, just to get me in my head straight again.
Yeah.
Everyone kind of did. So there were 12 of us who just did not do that again. Took us again. They gave us 2 weeks off. Some people jumped back in without any issues. Some people jumped back in more aggressively. Some people jumped back in more hesitantly. It just became one of those things. Because this was very nerve-wracking at the time. God, that was forever ago. Jesus, so long. I forgot about that one. Oof. All right.
From
I can't even go into detail, honestly. It is not a
not a fun thing.
It's not a fun thing. It's very gruesome at times. It really, you were terrified the entire time, and you were ordered not to do your first knee-jerk reaction, which on our first run through in Iraq, first knee-jerk reaction was, if it moves, shoot it. In this point in time, we were quote-unquote peacekeeping, and this was not a knee-jerk reaction type thing. You had to fight that knee-jerk reaction. It had been drilled out of you at that point in time. And you would watch very often someone getting a shot off at you, which only made things worse. So it was a questionable point. It made me question hearts and minds entirely for the rest of my time in Iraq, and from my point where onwards. I did not trust that, because they knew that we wouldn't shoot first, which became an issue because they would. And God help you if they could shoot well. That was an issue.
The
Go ahead.
I haven't served, so I don't have your experience. That's why I wanted to get your.
My take on this is, if it's doing this well and making it entertaining will be a difficult challenge. It will be a difficult challenge. I will say that outwardly. This was not an entertaining type of thing, but people make, World War II storming Normandy entertaining.
Yeah.
So you will have to do something similar with that. You're going to have to cartoonize some things. You're going to have to.
I think they're not going for. It sounds like they're not going for entertaining. They're trying to do real, but do in a way that tells the story.
That's not going to go well.
Yeah.
That's not going to go well. This was not fun. This was not fun at all. I have been in a lot of firefights, and that was one of my worst. One of my worst. My worst one was my very first one. But that's a different discussion.
Yeah. Speaking from a historian perspective, I think for this to work, it's going like things are going to have to get streamlined. Things are going to have to get toned down. Otherwise, but this also from a historian's both as a gamer and a historian, I hope this works, because these are stories that need to be told, and this is a story that needs to be told, and this could be really interesting in telling these kinds of stories.
I am concerned with.
But it's going to be hard doing it. It's going to be hard doing it respectfully and towing that line between realism and entertainment.
There's going to be an issue of
that line between realism, entertainment, and profiting off war, but also making sure the devs get paid and the story gets out there.
There's also the problem of when you're in war, you're going to do things you didn't think you were capable of.
Yeah.
And Fallujah, I guarantee you someone crossed the line somewhere. If not all of us did at some point in time. But this was probably a point where someone probably crossed the line somewhere. And I really hope that it's done properly and well. Because a lot of those guys, when you cross your line, you hold it together for the time being because you need to stay alive. But once you've calmed down for several minutes, seconds, an hour or two, you got to process that, and that's not something that's fun to watch. So I'm hoping that if they go through this and they show something terrible that happens, I hope they also show the processing that happens afterwards, because that is not something that is not something that you take relish in. That's just something that happens. You kind of have to go through.
Yeah.
So
I feel like that would be more like, and again, one thing going for this that'll help it is this is a post. This game's coming out after Spec Ops: The Line did. Spec Ops: The Line was pure fiction, and it was based off. It was based off a very old but very good story that had, but in a different setting that had some truth to it. Heart of Darkness, but that it went into crossing that line and what it does to people.
Yeah,
and maybe this could be a more like true. Like they're like shape, like how do I put it? War, like showing like this shit sucks.
Yeah. This is
do it in a way that it's still like, I hate to say enjoy playing it, but that's the only way the story's gonna come out.
That's the only way it's gonna get out there.
So no one wants to say like their favorite episode of Band of Brothers is the breaking point, but that it's enjoyable to watch. But that's the episode where everything goes to shit and Baston. But it does a good job of telling the story, and it's enjoyable to watch because you're already invested in the character in the story. If that makes any sense.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Something less heavy. It's a heavy day.
Oh, it's fucking heavy. We've talked about death a lot, and holy shit.
I
didn't intend for this, but this popped up, and it's like, we need to. I want to get your thoughts on.
I was not aware it was being made. I was like from Fallujah. Wait, is that big bad?
Yeah, I thought it had died, and then it popped up.
I'm sitting there. I'm like, is this that big battle in Afghanistan? That's the one in Iraq. Oh, I know this one. All right. Here we go.
Bad news, but more lighthearted bad news. The Old Republic is dying. They say it's not dying, but it's switching studios.
Yeah, that means it's dying.
It's dead.
Rip. Sad. Well, I had fun playing it when I did.
I had
play
lots
it.
of fun playing it.
I liked the story
for it because I never canceled. Oops.
I don't pay for it. I did for a little while, and then I was like, meh, and then I've just been enjoying free play ever since.
What's funny is the disaster of its launch is one of the reasons why I'm into visual novels. As I was sitting in the same day this came out was when the last demo for Katara Sojo came out. So like I'm sitting there waiting for a fucking server to open up so I can play, right? Shit posting on A, and then the A loses its shit because the demo for Katawa Shoujo drops. And I play that, and I have the Manly Picnic. It's like, oh, this is actually this is 4chan memery, but this is actually an interesting game. I'm gonna put that in my mental Rolodex. I actually like visual novels. What else is there? Oh, Fate Stay Night, and I got through the Fate route, waiting to play this goddamn game.
Oh, that reminds me.
I never got to play it that night because it didn't fucking open, and it was like, God.
That also reminds me. Are you gonna watch Fate Extra Fake?
Is that the one in the U.S.?
I don't know. It's the one that's coming out this July.
There was one. There was one that I saw ads for at Anime Japan. I was like, oh wait, this is the one that happened in the U.S. That's the fake Grail War. Oh, I've heard about this. I want to watch this.
Well, it's coming out this July, so
I'm probably gonna watch it because that's the most that's one that here in the US you heard whispers about that. Yeah, this is a part of the lore. This is something that went sideways in an alternate universe. At one point it was going to be the basis for Apocrypha, but they dropped it and they changed it to Romania. And then they killed Apocrypha, and then they brought back Apocrypha as Fate Go, which is its own thing, and then they brought back Apocrypha again for the Netflix series. Fate's a goddamn mess, but that's like one of the things that was whispered about and gets and a lot of the old Fate lore gets referred to a couple of times.
All you need to remember is that which from Mercury is slowly turning into Fate Infinity Blade Works. All right, Suletta is the fake. She will have to become better than the original. Greatest stupid line I've ever heard.
I've actually heard better lines about fakes in Fate fan fiction. Certain Fate fan fiction. There's some money lines Shiro throws at Gilgamesh. It's like, yeah, fuck you, Golden Boy, suck it. You lost your Japanese teenager, King of Heroes. Excuse me.
Yeah, King of.
Suck.
Is it King of Kings or King of Heroes?
King of Heroes. King of Kings is Christ.
I thought King of
Heroes is Gilgamesh because he's the first hero.
Okay, so King of Knights was.
King of Knights is Arturia. King of Conquerors is Alexander.
Right. Okay.
There's a couple others. I don't know who King of Kings is in Fate, but in reality it's yeah.
There we are. Moving on. Next article.
Speaking of SWTOR, apparently KOTOR might actually still be coming out.
No.
Because things are happening with Star Wars Outlaws, and apparently good things are happening with Star Wars Outlaws.
No, leave it alone. Let KOTOR die. Let it die. We got 2 games. Let it go.
Technically 3.
What the hell was the third?
SWTOR.
KOTOR. Okay. Technically 3.
As much as SWTOR tries to pretend that KOTOR 2 didn't exist.
What do you mean it tries to pretend? Freaking the Exile is one of the bosses you face.
Yeah, but it fucking undoes a lot of the shit KOTOR 2 does.
Anyway.
None of the things Exile did mattered except for keeping Revan alive after KOTOR 2. None of the shit with nothing Canderous did matter. The Mandalorians reverted back to what they do.
Mm-hmm.
Instead of having you want the Mandalorians to have at least an era of good time.
It'd be nice.
It'd be nice to have them be stable but still have that warrior culture. None of that shit you see with like, oh, we're pacifists now, and because we're pacifists, we're having a civil war that you see in Clone Wars.
Ridiculous nonsense. Anyway,
Although that
two Star Wars games are still on the way despite cancellation rumors.
Yeah.
What? First of all, Outlaws look like a stupid game. I'm not gonna lie. It was. I was like, oh, it's another Star Wars game where you're not a Jedi and you just kind of run around doing stuff. Okay. You know what it's not? It's not the Souls-like Jedi game that came out where you get a blaster now, and if you charge the blaster up, you instantly become freaking Quick Draw McGraw.
Oi! I enjoyed the shit out of both Jedi Exile and Jedi Academy. Playing it as a shooter. Yes, lightsaber combat is excellent, but it plays great with it as a shooter. With
as I'm saying, it's
a better BioShock than BioShock, and it came out 5 years before BioShock. Suck my dick.
The second Jedi Souls-like game, there's single blade, double-sided two blades, and then like the Kylo Ren blade saber, and then the final version of fighting with your lightsaber as lightsaber gun.
Oh, like Ezra has in Rebels.
Mm-hmm. And that is the strongest way of playing, because it's just like, you know what I'm gonna do? What I'm gonna do? Blap. It's like boop.
That's actually shit that like existed in canon before Rebels, where like, oh, I have a lightsaber powered blaster and it fucking murders people.
Yep, it's hilarious, and it's funny because you can like slow down time and like target everyone like in Red Dead Redemption.
Nice.
Like,
or Max Payne.
Yeah, exactly. So, but this looks stupid. I'm probably okay. I'm gonna say I'm probably not gonna play it. What's gonna happen here is this is gonna go on sale for like $10, and then I will end up buying it. That's what's gonna happen. That's what happened with the Jedi game, and I went, this was actually fun. I enjoyed it. I wasn't willing to spend $70 on it.
I do want. I actually pay. I'll probably get it for free because I have EA Plus because I play a lot of really old shit. That's for free at EA Plus.
It's not free if you keep buying it. No.
Like, oh, I'm gonna go relive my childhood and play Episode 1 Racer. I'm bored. I'm gonna go play. I'm bored. I'm gonna go play the OG Battlefront 2. Oh, I'm bored. I'm gonna go play Jedi. I'm gonna go play Jedi Knight, Jedi Outcast again.
See, I'm bored. I'm gonna play Rogue Squadron.
Also there, but it's like instead of having to buy like $7, $7, like, okay, I can just play this whenever I want. Cool.
Yep. Whatever works.
Oh, and I get the Mass Effects and the Dragon Ages. Cool. This is worth it.
Anyway, not enthused by this. I would rather we just let KOTOR die.
Not talking about KOTOR, but Outlaws, like, it seems like they're fucking it out, from my opinion. But I do like exploring the edgier sides of the galaxy, like they did in The Mandalorian before they started to fuck that up.
Yeah, well,
I like this. I like space western shit.
I like space westerns too, but my problem is that I guarantee they're gonna somehow give this freaking girl a Jedi mentor or Jedi power thing, and I'm gonna be like, listen, Order 66 failed. There's all these Jedi running around all over the goddamn place. All right, clearly someone effed up. There's too many of them.
In the Legends continuity, that was still a thing. That was like you found Force users and former Jedi all over the goddamn place. And it was a thing in the Legends continuity that they weren't going completely bumfuck insane trying to hunt them down because most of them had already gone gray or had fallen to the dark side. And they just didn't have the fucking resources. So if someone they just went after them when they started to do rebellion shit.
I get that. But
the Sith had won.
They didn't all just go, I'm a Jedi. Every fucking time someone showed up with fucking Force powers. That's my problem.
Well, the problem is you stamp Star Wars on something and people expect the Jedi to show up. They don't have to fucking show up.
Okay.
Some of the best shit I've read in the Legends continuity is just Han Solo doing Han Solo things.
Exactly.
Just nothing with the Force. The only Jedi in there is there's one scene where he's razzing Luke for being a punk ass kid. And then he continues on his way after that cameo.
That's it. That's all I need.
Like, even if they have, like, I can understand if they include, like, a Jedi who hid out or some shit. But, like, cameo, get it done, establish that this is still the Star Wars universe and that the Force is a thing, but not your fucking problem. Continue on.
Yes. The reason why I like the Jedi Souls-like game is because the game starts off with him trying to hide out, not being seen as a goddamn Jedi.
Yeah, that's makes it worse, and he immediately comes into conflict with the Empire because you're a fucking Jedi. Yeah,
and the greatest cameo of all time happens at the end of the game because Darth Vader shows up and just beats your ass.
Yes,
and you're like, I have one choice: run. What do you mean? He is bending the entire universe to his will with the Force. Run.
Going back to the like the Jedi Knight games, those started not as the Jedi Knight series. They started as Dark Forces, and the way those started is you weren't doing shit with the Force. You were a fucking mercenary, and you were a mercenary under contract to the Rebellion, and that was fucking cool.
Yeah.
And then you started to figure out, well, maybe some weird shit is happening, but it's like, no, you're a fucking mercenary. You're just killing shit. You just stole the shit for the Death Star, and now you're trying to find shit about this Dark Trooper project. And then you have to pick up a lightsaber to eat your ass handed to you by Darth Vader.
Exactly.
And then it's like, oh shit. Then it becomes cool. Most of the game is I don't want anything to do with the fucking Force. And then Jedi Outcast again is I've walked with Jedi Outcast. The second sequel was like, I'm done with the Force. I'm going back to doing this mercenary bullshit. Yep. Fuck the Force. Fuck you. I'm gonna go kill Imperials. And then he's called in because he's forced to come back, and Luke gets his head straight. Mm-hmm. But it's like most of the game is like, fuck you, and then God damn it, Force shit again.
I'm always very happy with the fact that the Star Wars games always do a good job of explaining and really enforcing the fear that Darth Vader puts in people.
Yeah, it's great.
It is great. It's honestly better done than all of the various movies. Not sometimes as good as the books, but
exception of the new movies, Rogue One does a great job.
Rogue One does a great job of that.
At the end, where Vader is raging and murking people left or right, it's like, yes, this is what we were fucking promised all this time.
That is more or less that is more or less the ending of the first Jedi Souls-like game, where Darth Vader just standing there and just everything around there just starts bending away from him. I'm like, yeah, did run.
Run. Get away from this motherfucker.
I'm like, I just see a Force bubble. I ain't don't like. I don't like. I threw my lightsaber. It didn't come back. I'm like, all right, I'm done. I'm out. Peace.
The only other time it was done well, but in a different way, was the opening of Force Unleashed.
Yes.
And that was because you are Vader wrecking people. That was Oh, and I eventually have to fight. I eventually have to fight this guy that I just was and destroy. Oh shit!
Oh yeah, oh yeah. Like that is terrifying. That's almost as terrifying as the giant tank I made in Tears of the Kingdom earlier today.
They're actually putting out papers about whether or not Tears of the Kingdom is the physics engine. Tears of the Kingdom is Turing complete as a its own computer.
I am almost to the point of building my own Gundam. I'm just like I've got tanks, I've got drones, I've got Patriot missile systems. Like I'm just like, and I'm saying like
you're gonna start getting contracts for shipping ship to Ukraine here soon.
I did make a giant rocket that just says "From Ukraine, Das Vidanya." I shot it at Ganon. It killed me in the process, but it was funny. Auto build is too powerful because auto build will let you build anything you've ever built before. So I just have this giant line of exploding barrels attached to just a platform. And so if I'm ever losing, I just go, fine, we both die. Ah! My first test of my tank was not great because it ran me over. I'm like, well, that didn't work because it has a door that opens and closes, so I can't get shot out of it. Which is the only way these things can like hurt me is if they shoot me, I fall out of the control stick.
Oops.
But now I've got a door that opens and closes.
You solved that issue.
I'm like, haha. And I'm like, but how do I get back out after it closes? Oh, just hit on again and it opens. Okay, good. I got this. So there's a spring contraption. So you leave it open, you get in, you turn on the thing when you hit the control pad.
This sounds awesome, but this is also the reason why I stopped playing Fallout 4.
See, this is the reason why.
This is why most people play Fallout 4, and why I stopped is I don't want to build shit. Like I just want to get this story, and like no, I'm gonna build some shit.
My problem is I'm terrible at
Legos.
I am just awful at the Breath of Wild fighting system. I'm just awful at it.
You build things and you cheese it.
I'm just like, you know what? Fine. This one, let's be build things. Once I get walking down, I will have a Gundam. I'm building it. Like the minute I get a walking contraption finished, I'm building a Gundam. All right. I'm very close. I've got the railgun down. I've got everything else fixed up. I've got a giant freaking beam saber that's just a giant flame thing.
Can it fly though?
For short periods.
Okay, so it's like Dynasty Warriors Gundam. Okay, cool. That counts.
It's more like RX-78 Gundam, but I haven't gotten walking down yet. Walking isn't a thing yet. So I'm just like, okay, all right.
Okay.
Once I figure out walking, I'm good.
Well, we have other video game news.
Yes, we do. Okay.
Hilarious video game news.
Which
meme is reality, boys.
Which one?
They put Microsoft Excel integration into EVE Online. The meme is real. Spreadsheet simulators in space.
I honestly, I'm a little surprised it wasn't already integrated. I played EVE Online for a little bit, and it was a job. And I mean that in like reality. It was a job.
You can even make money doing it.
I was literally
tens of thousands of dollars in EVE Online.
I wanted to be a stealth bomber. What I ended up being was a space trucker. Yeah, that's all I was. I'm just like, all I'm doing is just transporting stuff from point A to point B. That is my entire life.
We don't have an article for this.
But
But in in the latest release of Euro Truck Simulator, they put out an update
and
where American trucking companies and European trucking companies, depending on your region, are putting up billboards in the game to recruit.
Because we need more CDL drivers. We need
more
more truckers. This is what happens when you tell everyone trucking's not a real job. What are you gonna do? Drive a truck? No one. I'm sitting there. I'm like, these guys make six-figure jobs. What do you?
Well, initially you don't.
I know.
What usually happens is you get your CDL and then you go work for, you get your CDL and then you go work for whatchamacallit, you go work for Swift, and you cost Swift lots of money, but eventually you stop costing Swift money.
And then when that
and
happens,
then you get your own truck and then you make bank.
Yes.
Exactly. It's just you go through that period where you're working for Swift and you're a goddamn moron because Swift puts you on the road too goddamn fast.
Yep. That's just the way it is. But once you put in your dues,
it's not even putting your dues. Once you stop being a moron, you're like, wait, I can make more money.
That's called putting in your dues. When you stop being an idiot, you're like, okay, good, great, awesome.
Once it's been a couple of years and all that dumb shit you did initially falls off your driving record.
Mm-hmm. I've got a I don't know what this is, but I'm like, all right, cool, whatever. Dating app. I'm like, okay, cool.
Oh.
It's spicy.
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways.
Yeah.
Next, we already brought this up.
I have never been happier. And let me tell you right now, I've already pre-ordered.
Already?
I had a spare voucher because I bought Tears of the Kingdom, and this was on the voucher. I went pre-order, done. I didn't even think twice. I'm like, yep, get it. Darren, you've seen like a video. Don't care.
Don't care.
La raza. Okay, let me tell you. Latin Nintendo fans have been going crazy over this, and I'm one of them. Okay, Eddie Guerrero could rise from the grave, and I would not be as excited as I would be for this game. All right, that's where I am right now. But let's go over the fact as to why Super Mario RPG's announcement was better than Pokemon's.
Why?
Because Pokemon effed it up. Pokemon sat there and took a classic game that everyone liked, which was Pearl and Diamond, and they changed everything. They changed everything about the game. Super Mario RPG Remake, what I've seen so far that they've changed, very little. We still have the same core characters. We still have looks like the same core mechanics. Looks like the only thing that changed is the backgrounds and the way that the world looks. And the world wasn't something that I was terribly in love with so much as the characters.
Right.
The characters made this game. Mario, Mallow,
Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl, they're supposed to be one-to-one remakes, but what they actually did was they made the same game they've been making for the past couple of times. They just slapped new paint on it.
Yeah, and it still had all the same bugs, and they also didn't import all the same Pokemon from those original games. So you're sitting there going, I should be able to get these Pokemon. No. We've changed that now. You don't get. I'm like, what is the point of this? Why would you do this?
Money.
You can still get Dialga, That's not who I want.
That's not who you want. You don't want the legendaries. You want the other things that you had earlier.
I want a couple of the legendaries, but not that one. That one sucks. Anyway.
Anyways.
So if you haven't already, you can pre-order this using your voucher from Nintendo if you do the voucher thing. And I already pre-ordered it. First thing I did, like, boop, mine now. Because when I bought Tears of the Kingdom, I'm sitting there, I'm like, I have a spare voucher. Maybe I'll use it for Skyward Sword, because people keep telling me that Tears of the Kingdom is the prequel to Skyward Sword.
No, you pre-ordered this.
It's not coming out till November 19th. I have the date. That's another thing. They gave us the date. They gave us the damn date. Pokemon Pro was like,
it's been a while since I've seen anyone this excited for a game releasing.
I have not been this excited for a game releasing in a long time, because every other game that has released that has been a remake has been terrible, and the companies have proven me I can't trust them with remakes. Well, Nintendo has proven repeatedly, when they remake a game, its quality of life changes. It's updated graphics. They leave the story pretty much intact. They
if I remember correctly, other than allowing Shepard to be gay, the only thing they really changed about Mass Effect in the remake or the engine update is that, and making the graphics look prettier.
You could make Shepard gay in one.
Not in one.
Yeah, in one. You could.
No, they had to put the lines in because of a bug, but they didn't enable it. You had to get a mod for it.
That's
and
okay.
Everyone had the mod.
That's probably why I'm thinking that.
The only way you could exception. The only way you could make Shepard, you could make FemShep lesbian.
Okay. Because I'm sitting, I'm like, really? Because I remember like rubbing clams.
Fox News controversy, but you can make FemShep lesbian, but you couldn't make Shepard gay until 3 or until 2.
Yeah, my FemShep was the meanest lesbian ever. Just full rebel, angry all the time. I'm like, man.
You didn't go Paragade. You went full renegade.
For my female character, yes. all of my female characters in BioWare games and end up the same way. Mean lesbians. I'm like, what's wrong with me?
Did you turn what's her face into a Sith and bring her down with you and what's her face in KOTOR 1?
Yes.
The cat girl?
Yes.
Okay. Checks out.
With my female Riven, yes.
Yes. Okay. Checks out.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Always.
Next. E3's not dead, guys.
Yes, it is. Moving on.
There was a change to Japanese tax law that's gonna fuck over mangakas and fuck over
the anime industry. Yep.
Anime industry. They've been dodging taxes as doing the whatchamacallit shit, the independent contractor shit, but they're closing that loophole.
Yep.
So
that's gonna be interesting to go and watch.
And
happen.
They actually went and had a press conference and tried to stop it.
Well, it didn't work.
On the one hand, these voice actors and these mangakas don't make enough until they get to like the top 0.01%. On the other hand, pay your goddamn taxes.
See, here's my problem. On the one hand, this will not affect majority of mangaka and anime voice actors, because they are not the top 1%. All right.
Yeah.
All right. Much like majority of OnlyFans artists, they make about the same amount of money as you would if you had a regular retail job. Those of you who don't know, if you were on OnlyFans, you average about the same amount of money that you would make if you were flipping burgers at McDonald's.
Surprise.
Surprise. That being said, so I'm fine with people who are getting the upper echelon paying a little bit more, because you should be paying a little bit more. But also, fuck taxes.
Yes.
That's I'm like, but as a libertarian, fuck taxes.
On the one hand, fuck taxes. On the other hand, pay your goddamn taxes.
Anyway,
my personal position is everyone should pay taxes, but a very low percentage of taxes. Make the taxes as small as they are, but everyone should have skin in the game. That's my view.
Here's my thing. If we could just make the voting based on your taxes as to whether or not you are a net positive or negative to the system, I think we could go and solve all of our issues.
Oof, I'm not. I'm still in school, so I'm a net negative at the moment.
But I am a net positive. And I am really tired of people who are net negatives, who have been net negatives for 30 years, having the same amount of power as I do. That's my problem. Anyway.
Anywho.
Is that our last article?
That's our last article.
All right, let's
Wow, we've gone 121 minutes. I mean, excuse me, an hour and 21 minutes.
Yeah,
why am I dumb?
We had so many articles, and then the Fallujah thing really slowed us down.
Yeah,
that's the thing. So Anime Next I'm freshly back, and I had a good time. It was so nice and peaceful, relaxing.
At the hotel.
At my hotel.
Well,
so here's the thing. Anime Next was split up into two different areas.
I just was like, holy shit, I have dark circles around my eyes.
It's because you're up all night working on stuff. By the way, the Lewd website will be up and running by July 1st.
Cool.
I have everything in place. I'm just doing the last bit of design work, and then I'm done.
Cool.
Fucking done at long last, because I've had time finally, and that's done. Anyway,
I have time to write articles for you soon as well.
Woo!
Because I just got done with my 6 weeks of
also,
health. That's why I have the dark circles around my eyes. I took a final yesterday.
Currently tasting one of the many roasts that I am supposed to be deciding on what we will be selling, and while this is a nice Mexican blend, it's probably not going to be one that I choose. There was one that was a Peruvian blend that was delicious, so good, and that is definitely going to be one of our choices. It is so good. It even has a little stank to it when you smell it. Like, oh yeah, that tang. You're like, oh yeah.
Are you gonna send me some to try?
I might have some on me for Otakon, but I'm not sure about sending any. But
I'll stop by your room to grab some.
Yeah, I'll see what happens, because right now I'm just tasting ones and deciding which ones are which, and then I need to get designs back, and then we're set.
Cool.
And after that, we're done. But anyway, so and MX. So I was in the hotel of Lost Toys, or as I like to put it, the hotel that had everything that wasn't the Artist Alley and vendors and main events.
I heard some shit happen at main events. I heard some shit happen in the dealer's room.
Which shit? There was a lot of shit that happened.
I heard it raided the dealer's room.
Well, for a little while.
I heard nudity in the dealer's room.
Yeah, that's not my problem. Here's the thing: as someone who sells nudity, I keep it behind stuff and I plaster stuff on things to make sure people don't see stuff. So I go through a lot of extra effort to make sure that my booth is approachable. People know why you're coming. But
Yeah. I heard people got harassed, but they banned the wrong guy.
I heard that one too. That one was hilarious to listen to. So all these things happened in the dealer's room area, the giant vendor hall, the main events area. And
I also heard the shuttle crashed.
Technically it did. No one was on the shuttle at the time because it was going to where it was supposed to go pick people up. when it.
I heard that it was a 4'8" peel situation.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if it got that 4 glorious peel, but I heard it was that kind of situation.
Yeah. That was a problem of people not understanding height. This is what happens when everyone is short. Okay, they don't understand the problem of hitting your head on things. I'm sitting there. I'm like,
I'm also laughing because I'm pretty sure I concussed myself a couple times in Japan at the Airbnb I was staying at.
mm-hmm.
It was just like walking in the kitchen real fast, but ow! Hello, stars.
It's one of those situations. Anyway, so that was the thing. While the other hotel, which was 20 minutes away from that hotel, or from that area, we had all the panel rooms, the console gaming, the tabletop area, CCGs, TCGs, AMVs, karaoke, cosplay repair, everything that wasn't main events, the artist alley, the vendor hall, and arcade games was in the other hotel. So everything that's worth doing that isn't buying shit is there. And and people who like the concerts, I guess. I don't do the concerts. I don't do main events. 9 times out of 10, I don't do main events. It has to be a good main event.
I have questions.
Go ahead.
They're probably too inside baseball. But they're going to make me laugh because you haven't said the answer, but I already know the answer. Like I know in my heart, like I can guess the answer. I could probably once it's confirmed, I'm gonna laugh forever. But I'm not gonna ask it on stream.
That's fine. I will say the one curveball I had all weekend was I was quote unquote running the chess tournament, and which is pretty much me sitting there watching people play chess, and when someone has like a disagreement, walk over and deal with it. Which is like, okay, whatever. I'm in a room chilling out for the next half hour, reading something on my phone or bringing a book, whatever. Actually, I think I was playing Tales of Azure at the time because
neat.
Because it's a good game. It's a very good game. I'm enjoying the crap out of it. Anyway,
I gotta get through Trails of Zero first, and then Trails to
Azure. Yeah. So
Trails to the Sky, and then Trails to Zero. From Zero, excuse me.
Yeah, you do. Because if you play Trails to Zero, it gives you the final ending for Trails to the Sky. So it's annoying. So what were they saying? Oh right. So the chess tournament, there's like several girls in like very skimpy outfits, like bikini style type things. I'm like, okay, cool. And then they're all like the finalists. And I'm just like, and my boss walks in because she's awake. She goes, "How's the chess tournament?" All right, I've got my finalists here. And she's just going, "Why are all your finalists in their underwear?" I'm going, listen, I don't question these.
I don't question. Okay. They didn't get into conflict cheating.
It's not cheating to have your tits pushed way up. All right, that's not cheating. It's strategy. Glorious jiggly strategy.
It just happened.
Whatever works, But
this wasn't intentional by you.
But
why are they blaming the porn man for this happening?
Well, that was another thing. She just looked at me. She just goes, "So you had nothing to do with this?" No. Why are women always in their underwear around you? I don't question. Well, how do you think I got into doing the porn stuff? Women are already in their underwear around me all the damn time. I don't have to do anything. They just do it on their own. Sure. I just stand here. Werewolf was a smaller turnout than I would have liked. That was mostly due to the shuttle issue. Because the shuttle was absolute hell. But we will hopefully solve it next year. I'm sure it was a learning experience for everyone but me.
Are they going to actually listen to your suggestion?
No. They will do the opposite of whatever I suggest just to fucking spite me.
So they're not going to go with a limousine company with driving the van shuttles.
No.
So you can run them every 30 fucking minutes instead of every hour.
Look, man, I just wanted a stretch limo with a jacuzzi. That's all I asked for in my proposal.
Oh, so you went with the troll proposal because you knew you were going to get told to go fuck off.
Like no, I went with a proper proposal and then a troll proposal, and both were told no. And I'm like, okay, you know what? If you can't even give me a jacuzzi,
The question is, which one's the troll proposal?
anyway.
Anyways,
All right, so this has been the Geek-Posium. Actually, wait. We are both doing panels at ClossCon Texas.
yes.
I have 5 in. How about you?
I have 6 in,
Wow.
but one of them we're going to be doing together.
Here's my big
Oh,
question.
we're both doing 6 panels.
Wait, fuck you. Here's my big question, and it's one I must ask. What do we do with these spare the spare free tickets we got because of how we reserved the room?
Oh shit.
You know what we should do? We should find girls who are going to be topless in the room. That's what we should do.
Christ.
Give me an hour. Would you like free ClossCon tickets? Come join Weebs Gone Wild.
The problem with you saying this is one of Neil's exes.
Is she coming to ClossCon Texas?
No, but she ruined stripper poles and all that shit. At
We aren't getting stripper poles. We're just gonna have a wet t-shirt contest.
Katsucon.
Neil wasn't at Katsucon. This doesn't count. Secondly, this is not a stripper pole situation. This is a wet t-shirt situation. Get it right. Okay? Okay, get it right. This is girls getting...
It's not my room. It's not my room. It's not technically your room.
I know.
Talk to the man.
Don't worry.
He has bad memories. He has bad memories of me trying to reason with a security guard while he goon hands his ex who's screaming, "I run for the Washington Post. I can make your life shit in this."
No, you can't.
No, you're full of shit. That was bullshit.
No, you can't. First of all. Second of all, I don't care.
Yeah,
very often.
You're just fucking arrested. Shut up.
See, that's all it though. That's all it though.
Anyway,
I'm not planning on it. Anyway, so that's I have 5 panels in, one of which is Boobs the panel, which I'm very happy. My magnum opus of Opie is finally going to happen.
We'll finally get an answer. Does Texas prefer boobs or
ass?
Atlas?
Watch, it'll be something stupid like we like legs around here. Like, what the fuck, Texas? Anyway, so that's the thing. I also have my tentacle panel finally got accepted by someone, so I'm excited to be doing that.
There's a non-zero chance we will have to do asses at Otakon.
Did you already get the email or no?
No,
I've not got anything yet.
That's one of the things hanging out there.
That's fine. I've got censorship and anime still hanging out there. Just Say It Already, which I have to build anyway for ClossCon Texas, so that's the 2 for 1. And I've got I have my DM freaking panel I have to do.
Your what panel?
My DMing panel.
Oh,
how to be a better DM.
Are you doing it at Texas?
At Otakon possibly.
Okay, at Otakon possibly, because I'm doing my DMing panel in Texas.
Well, I'm just like they chose your DMing panel over my DMing panel. How dare they?
Because I have packed rooms before. I've also had that fall on its goddamn ass.
It's one of those. It's a very good panel for people who are there to ask questions.
Yes, mine's very good.
If you aren't there to ask questions, it's like, okay, what am I going to do here?
What am I going to do here? I can shit and tell about that time I lit my notes on fire.
I can remind everyone about the time I built a really good castle dungeon and the players would not go on it, so the dungeon just kept showing up in the background. the entire time.
The entire time.
They're just like, okay, you know what? Fine, we're teleporting away. You've teleported to a beach, and in the distance you can see the towers of a castle. Son of a bitch! Why do you keep doing this? It took me 4 weeks to build this thing. You are fucking going in it. You are going the fuck in it.
I remember that time where, for whatever reason, they pulled, my DM pulled the Amber Temple into the campaign that I wasn't expected in. I'm not sure if you're familiar with that module.
I'm not entirely certain on that one. No.
It's like an updated Tomb of Horrors,
Okay.
but it's less. Whereas Tomb of Horrors is built to fuck with you. The Amber Temple, like Tomb of Horrors, is designed to kill you. The Amber Temple is to tempt you into doing dumb shit, into getting yourself killed.
Okay.
And I got really lucky with a check because as soon as that happened, Attica was like, nope, we're not going fucking there. I will make whatever roll possible to not go there. Like, we ended up having to go there anyway, but it's like I got a nat 20 on my roll and just got enough, and it's like I was the only one in the fucking party that did not get turned into a werewolf or a vampire or
anything.
I was the only one I went into that. I walked into the Amber Temple with a good alignment, and I walked out with a good alignment. Everyone else walked out chaotic evil.
Whoops. So that's the thing. What was the So I have that possibly. I have another 18 plus panel. Which one is it? Might be Anime History X. I don't remember. I'll have to look. I know censorship was one, and then the other is just kind of whatever. But that's an ongoing thing. But ClossCon Texas, my 5 are just say it already. Just say it already. Censorship in anime, boobs the panel. I think the Anime History X and crap. Let me pull it up. Give me a second.
Okay, I got mine pulled up.
What do you got?
So I got I Mustn't Run Away, and even Yelling Debate panel.
Yep.
That's going to be a fun time, depending on who shows up. I've got military anime, or I didn't know blatant propaganda could be this cute. I've got Liberty or Death, Code Yes, and the American Revolution. So two of the ones that get pulled for me a lot, but that I enjoy doing. Tabletop DMing 101. Objection, Ace Attorney's portrayal of the Japanese legal system.
I'm assuming
which went pretty well at Colossal Con Prime, even though I made some mistakes.
Which is probably why it was brought over again, because it filled the room, which is always good.
It filled the room. I had actual attorneys compliment me, so that was cool. It was weird doing networking as a law student at a con. So I have 5 panels in. 2 are my mainstay big pack house panels. Just say it already, and my cryptids panel. So let's see if we can do this one without me being accused of being anti-Semitic this time. Which, I will start off by saying repeatedly, if you are a big titty Mossad agent, hey, baby. I'm just saying, Israeli women are the most beautiful women in the world. That's 2 hours, 58 minutes of me saying that. I'm going to make a freaking compilation reel of this and just put it up on the website. It wasn't even a fucking funny joke that they accused you of. It wasn't even topical to what I was talking about. I'm like, we didn't talk about Yu Yu Hakusho. We talked about these 2 shows. You could say something about the fact that the vampire's always blonde. That's a different issue. Anyways. So I've got those 2, and then my other 3 are all 18 plus panels. Damn it, Discord, don't you open. Censorship in anime, everything you want to know about tentacles, and boobs the panel. So, and then my last panel, which I submitted as us, greatest asses of Japanese history.
We're gonna find out whether boobs or asses win. We're gonna find out. We have to build that. You have to build that. I have to
build that. We also have to build the fucking because that's out there for Otakon. Here I stand.
Watch, Darren's gonna be doing 6 panels at Otakon, just going, why?
I gotta find my book on Martin Luther. I gotta pull out my fucking catechism.
I gotta pull out my fucking confirmation.
Like we're both like trying to find our confirmation shit.
Mm.
I gotta find my confirmation shit. I gotta find my fucking Catholic theology textbook from college because I had to deal. I had to. That'll be fun this week. Next week when I'm back home in Virginia.
Everyone's always fun. They're like, how do you know all this stuff? I'm going, I went to church. And like, no, but I went to church. I didn't learn stuff. Did you go to Saturday school? What's Saturday school? You mean like Sunday school? No, Saturday school. You go to school on Saturday where you learn about God and the Bible and the history of our religion. And I just go, no. Were you ever baptized? No. Get away from me, sinner.
You see, I did it on Sunday, but that made my Sunday 10 goddamn hours.
Sunday was for church, where you went into church. Saturday was church school, which anyway,
my Sundays were I got up early. I did because everyone in confirmation class had to do acolyte shit. So I did the early service for acolyte. Then it was Sunday school. Then it was during late service, I was doing my confirmation homework, and then it was 4 hours of confirmation class.
See, Catholics believe Sunday is a day of rest. You're supposed to come in for church, and that's kind of it. And even church is supposed to be restful. It's not supposed to be something stressful.
Well, you see, faith alone, scripture alone, all that shit is a sign to Christ. You're encouraged to rest, but you don't have to rest.
Catholics believe in rest. We rest on Sunday. The only obligation we have is to God, which is why you're supposed to go to church.
Every day is an obligation to Christ.
Yes and no. That's
but also living is an obligation to Christ.
Yes, living is an obligation to Christ, and being a good, well-rounded man is an obligation to Christ. That's different.
Well, you're not required to be good. It's just a sign that you're not required to be good. It's just a sign that you believe.
Yeah. Anyway, the point.
Anyway, so we'll get into this story. We'll get into this while we're arguing about Velvet, which is the world.
Which is why I didn't have Sunday school. I had school on Saturday, and it was from 8 until noon. And then at noon, we went home to have lunch, and then we had the rest of the day to ourselves. It was more or less.
That sucks, because what are you doing Friday night? And even if you just go to bed early on Friday, you don't get to see Saturday morning cartoons.
No, you watch Saturday morning cartoons.
Well, if you got to be there by 8, you're not watching Saturday morning cartoons.
What's on after 8 on Saturday morning cartoons?
I watched fucking Digimon, and that's when all the good shit for all the older kids came on.
Oh, that was on Sunday for me. I was on Sunday. Well, excuse me, it wasn't on Sunday. My grandfather.
We're different generations, though.
My grandfather would record using the VCR for us.
Okay.
So cool. we would watch like the 2 tapes of 2-hour things when we weren't there, and cool. So. Because we watched the Channel 5, which I think was Fox at the time. So they had the Fox Kids, whatever thing. And they had Camp Candy and Ghostbusters, Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. And
I remember Teenage Mutant Turtles and Ghostbusters. But I was also in that era where Fox had all the fucking anime.
Oh, that happened later.
I didn't realize it was anime, but that was like every Saturday, Digimon, Pokemon, Power Rangers,
One Piece.
And then whatever other shit. Like there was that you can't call it anime because it was made for America, but it was that NASCAR anime. That was cool.
I've never seen the NASCAR anime.
It was cool, and like it had its own characters and like these futuristic cars that would fly, but they would still do stock car shit like the bump and run.
Gotcha.
So and then it had its own characters, but Dale Jr. would show up, and it was Dale Jr. would show up, or Jeff Gordon, and like, yeah.
Beyond me. Not my region. But
or you turn on PBS and get Liberty's Kids.
Yeah,
and then I'd scream at it because it was wrong.
And then and then later on, we started having to record 2 different channels because WB came out with like Batman the animated series stuff.
I got the tail end of that. I don't think I saw Card Captors.
Never saw really? Okay.
What?
You didn't watch Card Captors live? Oh, okay. I watched Card Captors on Telemundo, so that's a little bit different.
That's different.
Yeah.
I didn't get the end of Card Cap. I didn't get Card Captors. I did get Batman Beyond. There was on one of the Disney channels. There was the Mighty Ducks show for a minute. For a hot minute.
That was the one where they were actually ducks, right?
Yeah, they were ducks.
Okay.
That was interesting.
Yeah, I remember DuckTales, and
DuckTales was still around, and it was awesome.
I remember DuckTales and Tailspin, which was Launchpad, McQuack, and Baloo. No, it was Baloo and the orangutan, whatever his name, from the Jungle Book. But now they were pilots of some plane that they used to transport goods. I'm like, okay, what like.
You know what I got? Doug. But you were too old for that, probably.
No, I watched Doug. That was
you watched it on Nickelodeon, probably.
Yeah.
I watched the end of the Nickelodeon run into the ABC run.
It was an ABC run?
But they changed it. But that's what the Doug's first movie, that was the beginning of the ABC run.
Okay.
I actually went to the premiere of that.
I didn't watch that at all. I think
I got tickets to the premiere of Doug's first movie from Tim Kaine.
Okay.
Then our current senator, Tim Kaine. Even though we were poor, we had that hookup.
I was what's it called?
And he was apparently Tim Kaine was the original Quail Man.
I think I was in my mindless self-indulgence phase at that point. So I was off to New York seeing shows I should not be seeing at like 16. Tussing it up, if you will. Because I will say it 100 times over, I will not smoke weed. Not because it'll get me high or anything along those lines, but I will not do it because you've legalized it, so you've ruined the whole point of smoking drugs. Which is, it's exciting because it's illegal. All right. Sex was a lot more exciting when there was a chance of me knocking someone up. Now it's like, oh, I'm on the pill, and then I'm like, sure, it feels good, but it lacks that edge.
Jesus.
Anyway, this has been the Geek-Posium.
That's a horrible note. That's a horrible note to end on.
What, that Darren liked it better when there was a chance of oops baby? I am an oops baby. Let's not forget that, okay?
Anyways.
This has been the Geek-Posium. We will be back next week where I might be able to tell you about our coffee. We're going to see if we're getting really close. Oh, I'm really excited about this. I cannot wait to have this done. Just because at this point, it's just me choosing flavors. It's waiting for the logo and choosing flavors. I've never been so excited. All right, we have that going on. The website will be up and running on July 1st. Well, we will be back, baby. We will be back, which means I will be going back to making content again. I have not done so in like a year. I have a bot running in case a ClossCon East room drops randomly because I'm that desperate.
Jesus. Seriously?
I actually have a bot. It checks 1,000 times a day to see if the time frame I want a hotel room is open or not. I've reached that point of desperation.
Let me know because I'm not That's one less con to go to.
Well, I still want to go to Anime USA regardless. Have you seen the Anime USA panel thing drop? I've not seen it yet.
I have not. I haven't been looking.
I keep looking and I haven't seen it. I'm like, is it there? Is it not there? What happened?
Anime USA is an excuse to go home. Colossal Con East is just another Colossal Con.
We could always do North.
Only if we get fucking
Wasted.
one of us gets guest status and gets a room, then the other one. I'm making this pact. If I get to get room, then you can get guest status.
I'm in. If I get guest status, you're in, but I'm bringing topless chicks.
Well, that
heads up.
Expected.
Heads up.
That's expected.
Yes, that is like what are you bringing? Hot chicks. Why? Why? What do you mean why?
It's a freaking brand.
Hey, it's on brand. Second of all, capitalism. You know what sells things? Hot chicks. You know what doesn't sell things? Ugly people. Looking at you, Bud Light. All right, good night, everybody. Let's see. What did I want to end on? I forgot what the heck thing I wanted to play.
Wait, I thought you were just you should have had this queued already.
I did, and then I scrolled.
And then you scrolled and we talked for 15 more minutes.
Whoops. That's because we were talking for 15 more minutes. Oh, well, that's fine. Whatever.
All right. I've gone through your computer's browser history, and you seem to have a type. You lose interest in those sites. I figured it would be best if I let you experience the real thing. So...
Yes. That's a tip! David, you're fucking adorable.